we are here for All Stars episode 5. Yes. So let's just get started. So coming back soon at the top of the episode, we're coming back from the Arissa and Beth elimination, where Arissa blew up on everybody and quit. So Beth is still here with us. She won that elimination. And as everyone's coming in, they are all talking about Arissa quitting. And, some people understand, but then, Jimmy and everybody's like, and Nehemiah, like, TJ say, if you quit, that's the worst thing you could do.
Yeah. Also, post her episode, we got a little backstory on Twitter of why she quit and what culminated that little hissy fit of hers. Basically, she was saying that she just felt like a lot of people were going into her things, eating her specially required food,
Because
and
she
that
eats gluten free.
yeah, and I'm pretty sure she put a little cannabis in there too. So, um, but yeah, she's like she just wanted her peace, and nobody wanted to give her that. So she was trying to stay away and just calm down. But then she got blindsided because no one told her, and that's also very understandable. Like if you're in this game and common courtesy, if you're gonna blindside me, don't tell me that I'm protected, and then yeah, so,
Yeah,
yeah.
she was, I mean, but I get it. I get it. But I feel like that's the new thing of the challenge to tell people before they eliminate. I feel like they didn't used to tell people when they were eliminated, you just got eliminated, and that was what it
Yeah.
was. Or not eliminated, sent into the challenge. I don't think that was like common practice. That's like a new
Yeah.
courtesy thing that they just started doing recently in the past couple of years. Okay, so after that we see Cyrus and Beth talking. And Cyrus, we just get kind of a little backstory on Cyrus and his, he doing this for his fiance, and Beth is trying to be there for him. Then we get a clip of the guys, like the guys in the house, are outside just playing around, and we see Derek attempt to climb this pole, not pole, like what is it called,
It was
like a beam outside the
yeah.
house, like a
It was basically it was made of stone and
concrete or
brick.
stone.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, try to climb the stone beam outside the house. He couldn't make it, and then Alton jumps his butt up there, and Alton climbs it. And we see Darrell saying, like, Alton looked the exact same as he did back in the real world days. He in good shape, and I want Alton out of here. Because Alton is a tough competitor from everything we have seen.
I think they did a lot of setting up in these first 5 minutes
Yeah.
for what's to come. And again, I mean, I don't particularly like that type of editing because I want to, it was
Mm-hmm.
still some surprises in there, but I just don't like seeing that. Okay, this is what this episode going to be about, so let me get ready. But overall, I think Alton again. I don't know. He still just rubbed me the wrong way from Battle of the Seasons when he just up and left. So I don't know. I just don't. I feel
I
like he's
like
a threat,
Alton.
but I don't know. I'm just not rooting for him at all.
Yeah, Yesella says she was on the same season with Alton in the Duel 2 or the Duel, one of no Gauntlet 2, one of those. She said they
Yeah.
was on the same season, but she don't remember him at all. So, but she says, but now she's looking at him, she's liking him, and she's liking what she see. So then right after that, we head to the daily challenge, which is called Connect Them All. It is like a mini final. So the way TJ sets this up, they are all put into, I think, 4 teams, and each team is going to be responsible for carrying this giant log. They have to run the log up this path. It's like up a hill, up the path, and once you get to the second checkpoint, then you all can drop the log, and you split into teams of 2. And then once you complete that checkpoint, then it's an individual solo game to a race to the finish line.
So it was 3 teams of 6. The copper team was Anissa, Big Easy, Darrell, Katie, Mark, and Ruthie. The gold team was Derek, Casella, Kellyanne, Kendall, Latarian, and Nehemiah. And the silver team was Alton, Beth, Jimmy, John Cyrus, and Yes.
Alton, Jimmy's team, and Cyrus really was doing great at pulling his weight. He was struggling because he had a bum ankle. I think he mentioned earlier in the episode that he hurt his ankle, but he was really trying to push through. And Alton surprisingly was having a tough time getting up the hill. Like he couldn't catch his breath, and he had to keep alternating. And at one point, Beth was like, Alton was leaning on her. She was like, "Get off me! I'm having a tough enough time. I cannot take you too." Yeah. So Alton was gassing out, which I was so surprised about, because generally, from what we have seen in the challenge, Alton, he is a strong competitor, and not that one mistake classifies somebody as weak, but it was just surprising to see him kind of like struggle during this challenge.
Yeah, definitely when he's like this self-proclaimed like nature man,
Mhm.
climb trees,
Yeah.
he does like stretching and meditation and yoga
Yeah.
and all this free spirited stuff. So for him to like, definitely for Cyrus to be there about twice his age, doing better than him on a bum
Yeah.
ankle, and he was just like, Alton was just like, just pathetic, like just like there's no
Yeah.
words.
Yeah. So Alton he just really struggled on the challenge. So for the first part of the challenge, so once they get up the hill, like I said, they are able to drop the log, and they can split off into teams of two. So Alton and Cyrus' team was the last to make it up the hill, but they weren't that far behind everybody else. So once they get up the hill, they drop the log, and Alton and Janae are together, and Cyrus, and like um, everybody pairs off into teams of two. So once they pair off, it is a puzzle they have to solve. Not really a puzzle. They have a graph, and it has these color coded. It's a color coded graph, and they have to make their graph match exactly to the picture that's in front of them. So each team is finishing this puzzle, and then we get down to kind of the last few teams that are left. And lastly, we have Beth and Cyrus that are the only people left, and they are still trying to finish this puzzle. So after that, it is an individual race to the finish line, and Kendall and Latarian are the first people that make it down to that finish the second checkpoint, and they are the winners as far as female that finishes challenge. Latarian wins that for the men, so he is not going in at all because it is a men's elimination. Was it a men's? Yeah, it is a men's elimination, and Kendall finishes first for the women. Although TJ does tell them that the lifesaver is out of the game, so she doesn't really win anything in particular because there's no more lifesaver. So at the end of the challenge, Cyrus and Beth are the only team left, and so Cyrus is officially going to be the male contestant that will be thrown into elimination. So after that, we head back to the house, and at the house, what is his name? Cyrus is talking to Mark, and he tells Mark that he wants Alton because Alton gassed out at the challenge, and he says he wants them to give him Alton.
Yeah, Cyrus felt that Alton was the reason that he was behind. He felt because uh, basically carried the burden of the team by him being in the back and then like trying to support Alton too. That if they would have got there sooner or didn't have to worry about Alton gassing out, that he could have did better in that second checkpoint.
Yeah, I do not agree. When he said he wanted Alton, I understand what he's saying, like, oh, you proved to me that you don't have endurance or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I think you need to look at overall. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to go into I don't care if Alton gassed out at this one time. You have never seen him gas out before. So I don't want to go against him. It just makes no sense to me. When he said he wanted to go against Alton, I was like, why would you even take the chance? You need to be more on somebody who was kind of a more sure thing. And even Mark says, are you sure? And Cyrus says, yeah. And so Alton comes up to him, like, because he just sees them talking. And Alton, thinking they're just talking about elimination, not thinking they're talking about him. Alton says, so who do you want? Cyrus says, truthfully, I want you. And Alton's like, oh, okay. He said, well, I'm not going to vote for myself. And I don't know what Cyrus expected him to be like, oh, like I graciously, I think he expected him like graciously be like, I'll volunteer, like I messed up, so I'll volunteer, like everybody has done in the past couple episodes. But Alton's like, no, it'll be you and Easy.
Yeah. Although I definitely understand where Cyrus was coming from. I mean, you can't play a scary game at the end of the day. If you feel like you could take somebody, granted, I do feel like if Cyrus didn't have a bum knee, that it would have been a better chance. Yeah, but like you got to think about it. If this is the final, so again, this challenge was a final game
Yeah.
or final adjacent or whatever. So at some point in the final, whatever happens, I feel like they will be in pairs like this. They will have to carry up the log or whatever and basically do something similar to this. So Alton gassed out. Why would I want him to be in the final with me unless if we have to do the same situation again, I know he can't do it. So it's like, of course, I'm like take him out.
But you don't know, because like who knows what the factors was in regards to maybe the day before Alton ain't drank no water. Like I'm just giving like something that could happen. Like somebody you seen be strong every time you seen them, every time you saw them, and then this time they do terrible. Maybe he was dehydrated. You know, at one point they made it look like he passed out. I was confused a little bit. But maybe he was dehydrated, or maybe he was working out and did too much then the day before. So I would never take that chance, because they didn't get we not they didn't, but we don't know what led to that. It was a weak performance. It was a terrible showing of Alton. So I would not take that chance that he would perform like that against me, or that he would perform like that again, because that's like 10 to 1. 10 times he has been amazing, and this one time he messed up, you're gonna be like, that's the one I want. No, I want this did good one time, it messed up 10 times. I don't want the one that messed up the one time. That doesn't make sense to me. And I got a bum ankle, so I'm already negative. So no. So so he tells so they have this discussion. Cyrus tells Alton he wants him in the elimination. Alton's like, well, I'm not gonna vote for myself, so good luck with that. And that's kind of where they leave it.
Yeah. And then Cyrus tried to shake Alton's hand, but Alton blatantly ignores him and go into the house.
Yeah.
And Latoya didn't take too kindly to that, which leads us into deliberation from there.
So we had to not elimination. We had to deliberation, and at deliberation, Mark speaks up and says that I've been friends with Cyrus for a lot of years, and Cyrus told me that he wants Alton. He thinks he can take him, and then Alton speaks up and is like, yeah, Cyrus really held his own during elimination, not elimination, during the challenge, and I messed up. However, I'm not voting for myself. I'm going to vote for the people that finish, because Alton was counted overall, even though he like messed up the first leg of the journey. He did not come in last place. He did not come in second to last place. So Alton saying, I'm going to vote for the person who came in second to last place after Cyrus. And so he votes for Big Easy. And then from there, it's kind of like a Alton Big Easy kind of race. So Alton's people vote for Big Easy, and Cyrus's people vote for Alton, with one variation being, I think Derek voted for, who did Derek? They like did like a one burn vote.
Yeah, he did a burn vote to Darrell, and Darrell did a burn vote to I think Derek again.
Yeah, so they burned their votes, which was annoying. Because like, why?
Yeah, and that brought up a lot of not tension, but a lot of people didn't like that. They, a couple of people said, "Don't burn your vote."
Yeah,
because as we know, burn votes are crucial. Definitely, because you never know that you get somebody an inch, they might take that mile.
So they burnt their votes, but overall, at the end of deliberation, it is Alton who has the most votes. So Alton is going in against Cyrus. So we're back at the house, and later on that night, Yesella and Alton are talking in her room, and he like calls her beautiful. And I must have been wrong with what I heard Kellyanne say about Alton having a family. I could have sworn, I'm gonna have to rewatch the episode. I could have sworn Kellyanne said Alton was married, but I guess he's not, because they didn't say
he said, "I'm gonna risk it all."
Yeah, so I'm assuming he's not married, because he wasn't acting like he's married. I think if he was, they would have mentioned it on like during this scene, like they would have did a confessional where he said something, but he didn't. So him and Yusela are talking, and he calls her beautiful. They kind of scoop close, and then they have like a clip where they are under the covers. We don't know what happened, but Alton, but Alton's kind of like he's not gonna kiss and tell. He's not the type to kiss and tell. So, but something happened between them, and they got a little something going on. So we are now at elimination, and at this elimination, we can tell that the setup is exactly from last week. This is exactly the same as last week. Since we did not use it, it looks like they're using it this week, and that is wall ball. So TJ calls Cyrus and Alton down because those are the two that were put into the elimination. And like I said, there was no lifesaver, so people are just thinking it's a one-on-one, no chance to save anyone. But TJ tells them, you need to expect the unexpected. And at this time, we are going to be doing double eliminations from here on forth. And he calls Beth down too, since Beth was Cyrus's partner. Beth will be coming down with Cyrus as the girl who came in last. And he tells Alton, you get to pick who you want as a partner. So from now on, whoever you vote down, if you piss them off enough, I guess they can pull you down with them. So looking around, everybody's trying to avoid eye contact with Alton because they don't want him to pick them to be his partner and possibly be eliminated if he is eliminated. So he sees Anissa and he picks Anissa. In elimination, it is going to be Cyrus and Beth versus Alton and Anissa. And Alton tells Anissa like he picked her because he really thinks Anissa is strong, especially in eliminations. She is his friend. He feels like she'll work hard to do it, and it really touches Anissa. And I think that's a lot to do with the fact that people usually don't put faith in her to do well. And so Alton is somebody who picked her, who seems to believe in her. And I think that kind of felt emotional for her because she's been doing the challenges for a lot of years, and people have never seemed to express want in having her as a partner.
I agree to an extent. I think Anissa, I feel like her reputation is what usually carries her. So I think, and plus Alton hasn't played a game in a while.
Yeah.
So I think that's why he chose Anissa, honestly. But I don't know. I feel like Anissa, again, I feel like if this was under different circumstances, things would have played out a lot differently. But I don't doubt Anissa, but I also don't think Anissa, I don't know. I'm just getting she's not trying vibes from these last couple of seasons. And I don't know. I'm just a little iffy on her.
Yeah. Okay. So TJ explains the challenge. It is the same as last week, like I said. So they will each be given a ball. So they each are given, it's like a wall platform structure thing. And it consists of 3 separate walls. And they have to pull the walls apart and have 3 separate structures. And one person has to climb over the wall. And the person that stays on the ground throws the ball over the wall. And they have to punch through the wall, but the person that's climbs over and retrieves the ball on the other side. And they keep doing it until they get through all 3 walls. The person on the ground throws the ball over, one person climbs over, and one person goes through. So once they get through all 3 platforms, they throw the ball in their basket, and they have to complete it 5 times. And whoever completes it 5 times first wins. So for the first team, they decide that Beth will be punching through the wall and Cyrus will be going over the wall and jumping down. And for the second team, Anissa will be punching through the wall and Alton will be climbing over and jumping down. So as they get started, I already kind of knew the outcome. Huh?
Rigged.
Yeah, I mean, it can't be rigged because this is the same thing from last week. It's not rigged because they literally reusing it. It really is at a disadvantage to Cyrus because Alton literally climbs for fun.
exactly why it's rigged.
But how is it rigged? They just did it over.
They set it up this whole little episode. We knew Cyrus was going home. Once he said he had that bum ankle, and then once you saw this elimination, you know they was gonna get rid of Alton. Like I literally think that these producers be like, let's see who's gonna be in the limit because they already know. Okay,
Yeah.
we know that Cyrus going in there, so let's set this up, get rid of Cyrus and Beth, and have they wasn't gonna let Anissa go, and they wasn't gonna let Alton go.
But I
Really.
don't think it's rigged because that they had to reuse that elimination because they didn't use it. So it's just coincidence that it had happened to be this week, I
These
think.
eliminations are like props. They got them in like a storage and ready to reuse.
I mean, I know they do have them ready. They could have used something differently, but I think I told you last week, I was like, I think they're gonna reuse this
I knew
one.
they were gonna reuse it eventually, but it's just like I don't
You
know.
don't think they should have reused it for this one?
Exactly.
I think they already had it set up to use again the next week. I don't know. It's already been sitting there.
No, because they had to add the little hole thingies. Because I don't think they had to throw the ball up. I think they just had to go through the first time. So they added that ball structure since it was a 2-player game now.
So I think the first time they didn't have to climb over. Yeah, I think the first time they just had to go through. Yeah, the first time they didn't have to climb over, they just had to go through. So yeah, if you talk about rigged for that part, yeah, I can see that because there was no going over because it would only have been Arissa and Beth going, and he had said they were just going through, not over. Right. So yeah, and
they knew Cyrus was going down beforehand. Like it was no way Beth was going to climb because yeah. So it was just rigged. It was rigged.
So they get started, and of course, I mean the girls are pretty much even as far as going through the walls, punch through the wall and going to the other side. Beth and Anissa were pretty much even. The really deciding factor of this was the climbing because Cyrus and Alton climbing at the start, it seemed pretty okay, pretty at the same level, but coming down from at the top of the platform, Cyrus always had to come down on his ankle, and Alton, and even then Alton climbs a lot just in general in his daily life, it seems, and so he is really fast at just climbing up there, coming down, climbing up there, coming down. And by the first one, Alton and Anissa get their first ball in first, and not shortly after, Beth and Cyrus get their first one in. But it is that second round that really creates the divider because as Alton and Anissa keep going up and down, throwing the ball, going up and down, and going through these platforms, Beth and Cyrus are stuck at like the first or second platform. And towards the end, they end the final score with Beth and Cyrus still in the middle of their second round, and Alton and Anissa have completed 5, while Beth and Cyrus have completed 1. So the overall winner was Alton and Anissa with 5 to the 1. So yeah.
Also, in Yes Confessional, he was talking about how it was just painful to watch. Like every time that Cyrus came down on his leg, you heard the pain. Like literally, people were just watching Beth try to pick him up.
Yeah, Beth was really working. I have to say, Beth was working for that. Like she was like jump on my back. She was pushing him up with her back.
The door they had to break off. It was like step on this.
Yeah. She was really trying.
It was. I was like, I hate these eliminations where they do that to the like. I get it that some things are just like unforeseen, but like this goes back to like the whole Jay and Rogan when Rogan was just like unnecessarily like tough, or like even with Kyle and Fessy, not Kyle and Fessy, but Fessy in general this season.
Fessy with anybody, yeah,
it's just like that's unnecessary. Like it's just cringe watching people like just, it's just it's painful to watch.
Yeah, and so after the elimination, like I said, Alton and Beth win. So no, I'm sorry, not Alton and Beth. Alton and Anissa win. TJ announces it, so they are back in the house and they're safe. And he tells Cyrus and Beth that they are eliminated. And Cyrus and Beth do like a kind of side confessional thing, and Cyrus is kind of going off like, give it to me one on one. It'll be over. It'll be over. Blah blah blah. And I don't think so. I really don't.
I think so.
I
I think
don't.
so. I think
I do
so.
not think so. I
I think at this
what's the one on one? Like Cyrus means physical. He didn't mean one on one. He mean give
I
me
think a
something.
pole wrestle Cyrus can be
Yeah, I think.
alternate. A hall brawl, I think Cyrus could be alternate.
Yeah, I think that's what Cyrus meant by one on one. He didn't mean one on one person versus one person. He meant one on one. Give me a physical elimination. That's what he meant, because he don't want to see Alton one on one doing certain stuff. It just, he is being very specific, and he needs to, that needs to be clarified. It is not one on one, is what he's saying. He's saying physical elimination one on one,
But I
because
think I don't know,
it
because
is, you know, it's certain things. Okay, let's say we did the same exact challenge one on one. No. Let's say we did a
if he
swimming
didn't have a
competition one
bum
on one.
ankle,
No.
he didn't have a bum ankle. I
No.
think Cyrus have more brute force. So
Okay.
if it was the same elimination as Arissa and Beth, right? Or was it Katie?
No, it was Arissa and Beth. Yeah, talking about
Yeah,
this
if it was the same,
Paul.
yeah,
Yeah.
if it was the same elimination where they just have to go through, I think Cyrus would be Alton.
I don't think so. I
I
don't
don't
think
think
so.
Alton has the strength. He probably got like the speed. He got the like
Yeah.
flexibility. He got the like the mobility, the
Yeah.
dexterity, but I don't think he has like brute strength or like yeah.
Yeah,
I
I like you said, I do agree with like maybe like the like brute force, and like he's heavy. Cyrus is heavier than Alton, but I still think the
too.
speed will be what if they did the same elimination, but just this the going through part, going through instead of going up and down. I don't think he could have won, just because I think Alton would have been faster, and I think we cannot put one instance of him not having endurance, or whatever it is, endurance. I think that's what it would be, not having endurance during that challenge. I don't think we can discredit everything else he's ever done.
I'm not discrediting. I'm just saying. I
And
don't think Alton. I think Cyrus would have had him.
so yeah, if it was physical, I could see it being more even, but just one on one, no, he don't want to see Alton. He don't want to see Alton.
But I'm pretty sure they're gonna do an All Stars too. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Cyrus is gonna be back.
Yeah, I know
And
he's gonna
if
have to
he
come
ever
back.
get his rematch and he beat him, remember this day on Sunday, May
Remember
2nd,
this day.
2021.
That is our review for All Stars episode 5. We will see you again later next week for episode 6. Again, we post on Saturdays, and please like and subscribe. Please leave a comment below. Subscribe to our channel, guys. And we'll see you later.